So now I want to give you one more piece of the story here before we move on. And that's that simultaneously, that's why this is such a pivotal week. Not only did Mercury go direct, Pluto's about to go direct, but also the final Saturn-Uranus square is really happening as we speak. Now, it's not an exact square. I mean, it's half a degree off. So if you really, have a total stickler, you could say, no, the exact squares all happened in 2021. But really, this is significant. It's a half a degree off. It is the end of the end. They will never be this close to each other again. After that, they start moving, and that story ends. And what's Saturn and Uranus about? Saturn is the holder of the old guard, and Uranus is the purveyor of the new and the radical and the revolutionary. And you can see this very much happening in the political realm in this country, which is why it's really important right now to go register to vote if you're not. But also you can see it in your own personal life. That I'll give you the dates of when they were last square each other. And by the way, this whole thing today is probably going to end up going past 11:15. So settle in, and we might have a longer call today because this stuff is important. The first time that Saturn and Pluto came together was in February of 2021. The second time they came together to square was in June of 2021. The third time, and these were the times that were their exact squares. And the third time was the day before Christmas in 2021. Okay, so those three squares, if you look back, February, June, and December of last year, you can probably start to see the map of what was trying to complete at that point in your life. And you can see how this echoes what's happening now with Pluto coming to its completion too. But this Saturn-Uranus has really been like shaking the tree, going, what is no longer needed for the next stretch of your life? Whether it's friendships, whether it's jobs, whether it's homes. And when you see it from this perspective, it really moves you out of that sense of victimization and, oh, why did this leave or why did that leave? And it literally moves you into that understanding of Saturn and Uranus made this square in order to release whatever is not needed for the highest evolution of the next stretch. Now, say with a person, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person leaves your life. It could mean you change the nature of the relationship. Or if with a job, it doesn't necessarily mean the whole job goes away, but all of a sudden you're playing a completely different role that is much more appropriate for this next phase. But Saturn and Uranus squaring is like a consummate setup for change, radical change. And this week is the final and fourth one. So it's a big week for letting go. And what I think with all these planets, these external transpersonal planets like Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, if you say yes to them, yes, let me move with this, let me open to this, they can bring their blessings. If you're there and you're hanging on for dear life to something that has outgrown its usefulness, whatever, the planets always win. And they actually can make things, when somebody says, oh, Saturn's kicking my ass or Pluto's kicking my ass, sometimes it's because they're fighting this planet tooth and nail. So that's as much as I want to say about that. There's a lot more depth on this on the astrology and fate class. So if you're really an astrology nerd and you've never heard that course that I did on astrology of destiny and fate, it's on the website, and it goes into this even deeper, but that is hitting a real culmination this week. There is a major birth about to occur. So when things get wild in eclipses like this, rather than not just eclipses, but the entire spectrum of all these planets moving forward, eclipses, all of it, rather than going into that old paradigm of, oh my God, we've already had so much intensity. I'm so scared. I'm so resistant. Go into that place of welcoming the birth. You don't even have to know what is being born, but holding that energy of birth. And, you know, if you want to put a personification to that presence of love in your own being, see it as a doula right now. You know, like this, there is a birth happening, no matter who you are, no matter what you are, hold that instead of stiffening yourself against the planets and saying, I got to hold on to everything as it is because I'm scared. Or even that idea of, I can't take any more change. I just need everything to stabilize for now. It will not in October. It's not supposed to. And it's supposed to birth. So that's it.